and I'm delighted to be at the Vstream stand here at ARVR Innovate. And I'm delighted that Jermain has joined me. Jermain, thanks very much for joining us.
Nice to meet you.
It's fantastic to be at the stand because Vstream is probably one of the, I suppose, the best companies in Ireland, or certainly one of the most regarded companies in Ireland in terms of virtual reality and augmented reality in terms of what you do as well. Give us a little background as to the company itself and what you guys do.
Yeah, I suppose at Vstream we're very much content creators or storytellers, as Ron Dennis at McLaren once described us. We want to tell the story that the client needs to tell. We want to make that story as interesting and as engaging as possible, and we use whatever technologies and whatever solutions that we feel will best allow us to do that. So that's kind of grown into a lot of AR, a lot of VR, a lot of mixed reality type solutions, and although it never really started out that way, I think in recent years the vast majority of what we've been doing on a big scale has been for sports sponsorship activation. So we work with F1 teams, we work with Premiership teams, we work with American football teams, and help them to engage with both their fans and their sponsors using a myriad of different types of technologies.
And people might be able to see in the background as well, there's a couple of stuff there for the Super Bowl and those kind of big things as well. In terms of talking about that sports kind of element of it, I know you work with a lot of other kind of sports-orientated companies too. How much is it important for them to be able to engage in different ways, both with fans, with corporate, with sponsors, those kind of things as well? And this is where you guys come in to give, I suppose, the wow factor. Is that really the key?
Well, it's a combination. It's kind of like an evolution on marketing, on your traditional marketing. Traditional marketing is always about understanding who the audience is and how they use technology and how they engage with it. We know who the fans are in this instance. We know that they've already got a passion for this brand in most instances, but we want to tell them a story. Usually that story is about how the sponsorship team or the sponsorship partner engages with the team and how they work with the team. So quite often you might have, like your Epsons or your SAPs. They're not just putting money towards the team to get their name on a jersey. They're actually true partners. So SAP's technologies are used by sports teams all over the world to track, to analyse, to monitor what all of that sports athlete is doing, and then use that to improve that athlete. So we help them tell that story in interesting ways that engages a fan.
And other experiences as well. I know many years ago when you were starting out, you were doing you've done 5D and 6D kind of experiences and those kind of things too. Is this all kind of like a natural evolution of trying to, I suppose, both marketing and in sales as well, where people don't really want to be sold to anymore in the kind of traditional TV advert way, kind of like look at us, buy us. They want a connection. They want to make a connection as in, wow, that was great, or look at that augmented reality experience I had. Jesus, brilliant. Is it just a natural evolution of the way marketing is going? Yeah,
well, we work with a lot of motor industry brands. So we work with the VW Group and all of those brands. So we still very much have our hands on the traditional marketing routines and approach. But I find that the way that people are using technology today has completely changed. We're binge watching TV shows on Netflix. We're always on social networking. YouTube is just getting bigger and bigger. Twitch has exploded in recent years, and kids just absolutely love that. And you can see that that's very quickly growing into adults and professionals. So when you see that even though in Ireland we're one of the biggest cinema goers, but the way cinemas are working now and the type of content that they're showing is changing. They're doing theatre now, they're doing live presentations. I only saw the announcement of a new video game next week is being shown in Odeon cinemas around the world.
Wow.
Right? So this is the power that those types of industries have had, and how the public are consuming information and consuming technology. What we always try to do is know what they're doing, know how they're going about their day-to-day business, nudge them out of their standard route and get them to engage with our story. We want to keep them captivated, we want to encourage them to keep coming back. And then we still go back to our traditional storytelling, we still go back to our traditional marketing techniques, but we use technology to add magic to that, to make it much more exciting.
Do you think in terms of consumer side of things, I know you deal a lot with kind of B2B and those kind of areas, but for the consumer side of the ordinary person, that we're beginning to see the little kind of drips and drabs, the Pokemon Go's, all those kind of things. I know it's not traditional, true augmented reality, but at the same time, it's still giving people a taster of what's out there, and picking up the HoloLens or picking up, DAQRI or something like that, that gets them used to the idea of the function and the functionality of it as well.
Yeah, and I think mobile devices are obviously, flagshipping that. We do use AR and VR with our mobile phones half the time, not even realizing that we're doing it. Mapping tools are always telling us which direction we should be going in and how we should be using it. That is a form of AR. And so why, seeing that, it's about that killer app. It's about seeing tools that are absolutely just feel natural. Pokemon Go felt natural.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I was forced to do something for an awkward reason. And when you start to do that in everyday tools, and it feels very, very comfortable, then it becomes something that's just a norm.
It's breaking out of the niche, isn't it? And just trying to get that.
If it's just a gimmick, people see through it. Very, very people. They'll try it once, but they won't really go much further than So you can definitely see that AR and VR is going to become more and more in the mainstream. I think VR is a little bit more entertainment based than AR and MR. I think AR and MR has its place, but the likes of HoloLenses, it's a real game changer. You can see how that could be used all of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is only the first generation of it. This is only beta.
Imagine 10 years from now.
They say new technology doesn't really kick off until its second or third generation.
That's right. Yeah.
If that gets a full field of view, if that gets a lighter form factor and keeps all of its power, why wouldn't anybody want to have that?
Amazing, yeah. And we still have Magic Leap to come as well sometime in the next couple of years too.
And if that's anywhere near as good as they say it's going to be, it's going to be phenomenal.
I know, absolutely fantastic. Lots of things to look forward to in the future. If people want to find out more about Vstream, what you guys do, and perhaps how people can use you for their marketing experience, how can they do that?
All the information can be found on our website, vstream.ie, and you can see examples of some of the work that we've done, and you can very easily contact us and the team.
Absolutely, yeah, and very impressive examples they are too. Jermain, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks
Absolutely
for your time.
Pleasure.
Nice to talk to you.